Good afternoon, Tony Dattino here, founder of the USA Memory Championship, doing my Live with Tony, which I work to do on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Though last Friday I missed one. I was having a little fun time playing with someone I took over to the Animal Kingdom here over in Orlando. But I got an insert magazine in my current subscription to Scientific American magazine. Nothing from the Scientific American mag, which I don't have, but I have this insert that they put in. It's the new age of Alzheimer's, and it's a, I mean, God, it's just been fantastic. It's 82 pages of stuff, Alzheimer's, and one of the articles that caught me in this, the new age of Alzheimer's, is the things that we're learning about Alzheimer's from its research and the things that have been done to treat it, and the different medications, and the importance of diagnosis and how soon it starts. I mean, it's just loaded with really good information about one of the things that people worry about and actually die from. And so you start looking at, one of the causes of why we die. Obviously, cancer continues to be up at the top. Heart disease is number one, and cancer is number two, and Alzheimer's is creeping in there. And of course, it's something that people worry about because no one wants to live to the point where they don't recognize and they don't know the loved ones that are around there, be it their spouse or their children or their grandchildren. And that's a worry that people have. And what I found really, really interesting in it was an article on getting ahead of it, teaching good brain hygiene, and the importance of doing things that you can, in fact, take control over prior to getting the disease, which is pretty darn important. It's like, hey, how do we prevent this thing from ever happening and get ahead of it, as opposed to waiting till it happens and hoping that there's some pills. And the bad news is right now there aren't any pills that are really doing anything much about it. There are breakthroughs from time to time on the different plaques that we have in our brain, which then ties into the importance of sleep, and how during our sleep hours, the toxins of the plaques are being cleansed and taken out, and the challenges of people that don't get good sleep. So I think everybody knows we got to get good sleep today, but do we? And I just found the whole issue has just got one article after another. But here's one that I wanted to focus on today, and it's talking about teaching good brain hygiene. So happens they're doing this in Japan, and they have got this together where more than 90,000 people are going to be 100 years old or older. So they're going to have 90,000 people in Japan that are going to make it to the 100-year mark. And that's one of the good things about science, is they're helping us live longer. But who wants to live longer and not have your mental functioning? They're advocating lifestyle changes that will reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. And that's the important thing that we're learning here in our country with the different researchers that are coming out of Cleveland Clinic and UCLA and Johns Hopkins, the different centers that are now working on the neuroscience of Alzheimer's, and what can we do about it. And one of the things that this article is very important, and I think the Japanese culture focuses a lot because of their challenges in the automobile industry, where they learned how do we prevent errors in the manufacturing of cars, and how do we avoid having to do warranties and fixes and repairs when the cars are made in Japan and shipped to the U.S. Now, they're taking some of that thinking and they're focusing it on Alzheimer's, which I love, because what they're trying to work on is how do we minimize or prevent it? And some of the discoveries they're having are really fantastic. And so they have this class they call Cognitive Care, and people can sign up for Cognitive Care and Cognitive Size, which are the exercises that really try to get ahead of it. And how do we minimize and prevent it? Cognitive Care aims to teach people good brain hygiene. So now hygiene meaning how do we keep the brain clean, and how do we keep it from getting this buildup that leads you to Alzheimer's? Each participant gets a medical checkup, attends a health-related seminar, which includes information on nutrition. And so the links of nutrition and what nutrition is having an impact is huge. And so how do we change our nutritional habits that have an impact on it. And what else? It's getting a lot of attention because of its instructors and caregivers and what the platform is basically learning. And so what's next? They do exercise. So we now know that exercise is more and more important because of the oxygen levels that we have and how much oxygen is used by our brain. But here's what was interesting about me, and when they demonstrate the fun and creative ways to stimulate the brain while exercising. So now we're going to exercise, and we're going to stimulate the brain by making you think things as you're exercising. So again, we know the importance of exercise, but I found this really fascinating. They find fun and creative ways to stimulate the brain, your thinking, so we know exercise, sleep, nutrition, mental challenges. So what they're doing is challenging your brain while exercising by counting backwards, clapping your hands while stopping your feet, putting word games into the exercise routines, having you do some short little memorization activities while you're physically moving about. So movement is going along, and mental challenges are included in that movement. So these are now 4 things that we know and we have incorporated in our online course, 6 Key Factors for Brain Health, and that is our sleep, our nutrition, our mental challenges, and our exercises. Now, here's the 5th one that comes about, okay? The exercises focus on focusing the mind on a task while the body performs another. So we're doing one thing in terms of our physical movement while we have to also think of something different. But here's what they get out of this. The exercises actually are complex and difficult, so they make them a little bit challenging as you're physically moving about. But what's important is that the exercises are done in groups that participants laugh while they make mistakes. So they're challenging with the intention of making mistakes, and people can laugh at it. And so they're not taking it too seriously in the sense of, oh my goodness, the world is coming to an end. It's hey, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna play. But here's what now comes out of that. What's the importance of teaching elderly is similar to running up and down an escalator, but the social interaction that they get with one another and how they're going about it and how one person does it when one person makes a mistake and they laugh about it. And so socialization is crucial. We're reading more and more. I was reading an article in another magazine about how many seniors are lonely. In this article, it talked about the misdiagnosis of Alzheimer's because people are alone, feel isolated, and they feel like they're not part of their family anymore. Because most seniors, as they get older, are just alone, and as people die off around them, and so they lose their friends. And that's why something like the Villages, which has got 100,000 plus people, are so active in different activities they do, and why people spend money to sell their house in someplace in the country and they move to the Villages here in Ocala area, Florida. So what they discovered with this Cognacare work is it's really engaging nutrition, exercise, social interaction, mental challenges into a series of activities, and they charge monthly for this, so they've found a way, and they've got thousands of people that are going through this program, and now they're tracking to see what the differences are. What changes in their life that makes it important? And so here in Orlando, at the YMCA at Dr. Phillips, they've got a workshop called the Memory Institute, which incorporates these things in terms of getting people to think, that what are the challenges they have, getting them to exercise. And what we've discovered is that the social interaction of the members inside the Memory Institute are extraordinarily powerful. And at times their caregivers come in and be a part of the workshop, and it just builds a camaraderie and a team around the care of people that are in the early stages of dementia. Now, what this article talks about is, gee, if you can get this stuff going to people in their 40s, my goodness, what a difference this can make in the reduction of Alzheimer's and or its impacts. So we're on our way, we're making progress, but boy, we still have a ways to go. And it may not just be what I call the easy pill. It may be workshops like this that really are taking control over things that can impact our life that we can decide that we need to do. And so how do you get people to just get movement? Let's just talk taking a walk after dinner. Let's just talk about, lifting, 3 pound, that a 3 pound dumbbell here. Let's just lift the 3 pound dumbbell and not overtax ourselves. We don't have to go be bodybuilders or go run marathons, but just do some fundamental things 10 or 15 minutes a day, and the difference it can make in our long-term mental health. Well, we're moving along. 25th Memory Championship. People are signing up. We got interesting things going on, and we're making progress. So stay tuned to the USA Memory Championship website as that continues to evolve and develop. And think about what you're doing in terms of your cognitive care and your mental health that can help you stay focused and connected with people in your life that are important to you. Have a good afternoon. We'll see you on Wednesday.